Stuart, just how important are H-1B visa holders, and that will mean mostly Indians necessarily, to the US economy and to creativity within the US economy?
Our research has found that over half of the billion-dollar companies have been created by immigrants to the United States, most of them H-1B visa holders, and many of them even international students as well. And so Indians and H-1Bs more generally are really crucial to the US economy because over 70% of the graduate students in electrical engineering and computer science and fields like that are international students.
So is Trump reversing Biden's policy to attract talent? The policy seems not very clear because Trump has also been saying the right things.
Well, that's really the million-dollar question at this point, because in the first Trump administration, the policies were very negative. Some Indian companies saw their denial rates go up to really a 50% or higher. On average, in FY 2018, the denial rates for new H-1B visas were 24%. And the Trump administration policies continued until they lost in court. And then that reversed some of those policies, but not till the end of the term. Since then, Elon Musk has created somewhat of a counterweight so far, at least rhetorically, in that there's some positive statements that have been made about H-1B visas. However, we haven't yet seen the policies roll out. I find it hard to believe that you're going to go through the entire 4 years without any negative policies, considering Stephen Miller is really in charge of immigration policy, and he's been very negative towards international students and H-1B visas.
Is it the aim of the administration to attract talent but not retain it, so people come, do the clever creative things, and then go back? So you have the creativity without the migration.
The government is often sends mixed signals, and you also have many people with different ideas. I think if you ask the average member of Congress in the United States, they would think it's a bad idea to have people educated here and then go back to another country and potentially compete against US companies. That's how they would view it. However, the way our actual policies work is you have, it's very hard often for an international student to get an H-1B visa. As you know, there are hundreds of thousands of people who are excluded from being selected in the lottery each year. You also have many Indians who have to wait decades sometimes potentially to get their employment-based green card because of the limits.
The usual popular complaint is that all these arrivals stand in the way of Americans themselves doing all these wonderful things.
Well, our research hasn't shown that at all. In fact, really among the most highly compensated people in America are people that come in the same fields as H-1B visas, particularly in the high-tech field, and including some of the people who make more than them are physicians. And as we know, there are many physicians that come in through H-1B as well. So that's really not true. And we've also found through our research on billion-dollar companies and other entrepreneurs that what you often find is Americans joining with immigrants to start these companies. So, and that's one of the wonderful things, that when you have knowledge out there and you combine it with other talent, you can really create wonderful things.
You mentioned Musk. Is this the one thing that Musk is getting right?
Well, without getting into the Elon Musk debate, which is almost a full-time debate in the United States with some of his efforts, I would say that many people do agree with his position on high-skill immigration. Not necessarily everyone who are the most fervent supporters of Donald Trump, but I would say that Musk, has staked out a position to say he's in favor of H-1B visa holders and H-1Bs in general and high-skill immigration. And Donald Trump, during the campaign, had a proposal that, of course, we haven't seen reemerge, but where he said that all international students should even be able to get to stay in the United States and have green cards. The question becomes, what happens with the policies? And if the policies return in any form to the first term, then whatever is being said now won't really matter. But if the policies are more like the rhetoric, which is saying that high-skilled people are positive, then that could potentially preclude some of the negative things that we saw in the first term.